What's up, everyone, and thank you for joining us on another episode of In the Trenches. This episode is a very special one as it is our first official guest on Season 2. He is a dear friend of mine and Tanner's. But before I reveal our guest, I want to remind y'all, please like, share, and subscribe. So without any further ado, I present to you Kit Moore.
In the trenches. Trenches.
Just saying a second ago, we were talking when I came out on like the winter tour with you to see if we could get you on the pod, and I'm very stoked that it's a Season 2. You're our first guest on Season 2 because
love it.
We've changed the rhythm of it. We dive deep. We got Tanner, who you know, so this could be a little reunion for a lot of us.
Tanner and I had some good times together a couple summers ago.
Summers ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple summers ago. Isn't that crazy?
God, we were just talking about it. Man, that's where I like me and your whole crew. We've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
Like I watch Viking games with Sean.
They're the best, man. They really are. Like I'm always aware of how special the circle is with us on the road because all you guys know. It ain't always that way, and stuff can be really difficult if the people aren't.
Yeah.
And we all hang with each other. Like I said, Hank's playing tonight. The whole band and crew will show up to go watch him play.
It's so important, man. You're gonna travel the whole world. You got to have like the best people with you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, you said Hank, and I immediately think of, not to get out of order on things, I don't think there is an order, but remember when we did the basement sessions?
Oh, yeah.
For solitary tracks?
Yeah. You should have.
Wait. No. I watched those. Those were dope.
Yeah. Well, Spidey was kind of having like a little bit of a meltdown because he got there not knowing what he was getting into. And I said, we're going to do it in this basement where we actually rehearse at Hank's house. And ceilings are 8 foot maybe maximum
from everybody.
White. Yeah, that's what Spidey does, dude. He'll freak out and then he just figures it out.
I can see him kind of like, and I know him well enough to know how he kind of operates and feeling like I could at least talk him to like real. He's kind of having this moment. And I said, hey, look, you're so fucking good at what you do. Let's go. Let's run. It's going to be great. You're going to make it great. And he goes, okay. And then he just like, boom. Then he's just in,
Yeah, I did. I was nervous, and I remember scouting the basement, and I walked in. Hank was there. I never met him. I went right over his shoulder and was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, he said that. Hank said that.
I'm like,
Hank
nice
said
to meet you.
Yeah. Super excited, but what the hell are we doing here?
Hank actually said that's the first thing that Spidey said, and I was just laughing. He said he's harmless. I promise. He's great. He's gonna kill it. Yeah.
But that was the first time y'all worked together.
Not at all. In
a video setting.
In
a motion setting, yes.
Yes.
PJ, who's been videoing for me for years, has always loved what Spidey does, loves what you do. But he can be like that, where he can be like, this isn't gonna work. PJ, make it work.
Yes.
He'll go, okay.
Yeah, he's an artist.
He's just, all right, let's go.
Yes.
It's like everybody in music too, You like show up to a venue, you're like, you got to be shitting me.
Yes.
How are we going to load into this place? It's
But
like,
I
man,
think
we've been doing it our whole lives. Let's just
I'm much calmer though on a photo atmosphere than I am in any kind of video atmosphere. Moving parts require certain kind of focus and attention that I have to do, but photo, and I think that's why I love photo so much, is because it allows me to kind of settle in and not be so intense.
Then y'all did what album covers?
Damn Love and Wild World.
We did Wild World, which is still one of my favorite covers. That cover's great.
Yes.
We did that one. Yeah, we just did Damn Love stuff too.
I get little Christmas gifts from, not literally, but these text messages from Kip that will come out maybe 3 months in advance. You available February 19th?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I am. But I know what that means.
Spidey's like, I got my kid's birthday and I'm skipping it. Where are we going?
Yeah. But when you get that text, it's like a little gift. You're like, yes. And I know like a couple days before that date, we'll go get some breakfast and figure it out. Usually where he's talking me off the ledge, and we go to work.
Dude, that's what's up. Well, we talked about like who we were going to have on this podcast, and I immediately said your name. And I'm not, this is the one time I'm going to kiss your ass real quick. No one has ever said bad about you in this industry. And our time, it was 2 years ago, dude. It was just, again, the crew, you were so great. And so like our whole premise here is like, let's just bring the realest people, the authentic people. And yeah, your name fucking
man. I love
first
that, man. We were going back to all the Hain concept, how the band. I've noticed it saddens me a little bit, and I don't know if that's like you sound, I guess, like an old head talking, but it's like I notice with the newer generation of artists coming, they don't hang. It's a very insular. They do the show, they don't even watch the headliners or whatever. They go straight back to their bus, whether it's
the very young kids.
Yeah, and it's. I can remember. I'm always trying to, and you know this. I mean, you know this too. Where I didn't have any headliners if I was direct support, or especially if I was the first of three, coming to me and being like, "Hey, we want you to hang tonight. Come to the dressing room." Come. Like, I never was like having someone go out of their way to include or make sure everything's great. I'm always telling my crew, make sure these openers, they all feel good, like whatever they need on stage. And then I try to get them to hang, and I remember this younger band and artist that's doing well, and the whole crew, and I'm always trying to engage with them and tell them, hey, come hang with us tonight. And one of them says something to me, and I've been around enough to know when somebody's being a little snarky. And it definitely, there's that side of me, there was a switch that at first wanted to be like, hey, look here, I wanted to
grab by the ear.
I was close to kind of being like, but I checked myself for a second, and I said, they asked me, what do you get out of this? What are you trying to, and it kind of took me aback. And I said, because y'all don't know how to hang. Yeah. I wanted to be a part of the circus. I didn't even want to be an artist. I wanted to be in the Heartbreakers. Yeah. And I wanted to be in everything that encompassed that. When COVID hit, I heard all the artists saying, golly, I miss being on stage. I didn't miss being the guy. I didn't need the adulation. I missed being on that bus, riding to the next city, blaring a Radiohead record, and we're all just having drinks and singing. I miss looking over at the guys on stage because we are a live band and seeing somebody hit a new lick they hadn't hit before, and everybody lights up. And I missed the circus. Robert Plant talks about that. He talks about how none of these artists hang anymore. So I was trying to tell this guy, like, you're out here and we're all away from home. It's a very unnatural existence. So I'm trying to include you into what this is about. And it's all music. People hanging out together, jamming together. You don't see people just sitting around jamming. And we jam and we get our guitars out, and he couldn't wrap his head around that. So
it's arguably the best part. I mean, obviously, playing shows and you get that high from the people, but like, you just don't know how long this shit's gonna last. And at the same time, you're like, I can't believe I'm here.
Exactly.
Even after years, you're just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Right? I'm at work, and I'm like, I'm hammered with my best friends, and we're having the time of our lives. So yeah, you have to let these young kids know.
Yeah, Tanner, I just said the other day, I was like, we were getting, we were about to go play this show, and we were looking outside the bus, and it was like our first headlining show of the year, and I look out and there's just a sea of people and the electricity waiting and the ruckus. And I was like, I can't believe people still want to come hear me sing. It's that thing of, I can't believe this is still going.
Yeah.
And it's still doing this, So I think the game has changed so much too, to where it was such a fight for me to get to where I've got. I mean, it was years and years before I could even get in the door.
It was harder.
Yes.
It was way harder.
The hole was so much smaller to get through.
Yeah.
So when you got there, there was such this thing of, oh my gosh, I don't want to let go of this, because it means so much to me. Where almost, we talked about this other day too in the writer's room, almost every artist and writer that I knew coming through town, we were all broke. All of us. I slept at the publishing house for 4 years on the couch.
Yeah.
On a twin mattress at times. And it feels like all these ones I meet now, Their parents are paying for their apartments. The parents paying for their house.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. So there's not this like, I see the newbies come in. They don't really speak to our sound guys that are helping them. They don't really, where I was just ecstatic if somebody helped me that was the headliner or whatever. Like it was like, man, thank you so dang much, man.
You're speaking facts for me. I mean, it's resonating heavy with me because it was the struggle for me, and it was the fight, but it was a different landscape coming up my way where I had a few people that would take me under their wing.
But even you said you were homeless in LA.
Oh yeah,
when you started out,
yes, 1000%. And so yes, when I finally broke through and got the opportunity, it was years that I had to convince myself that I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would be like, "Hey, do you want to go get tattoos or something like that?" I'm like, this was many years back, I was like, no, I don't know when I'm going to have to go get a day job. And I was already doing Bone Thugs and I mean, Eminem, Exhibit, Good Charlotte.
Can I relate that? I was hiding cash in a shoebox.
And I think
a shoebox for years.
That's what's up. Not even in the mattress, dude. It's in the shoebox.
I've been living in a garage apartment that was like 350 square feet, and I had this little 4-cylinder Nissan truck, and then everything started to pop. And I had 3 number ones, and I didn't go get a new place, and I was still living in this place that cost me $250 a month, and I was putting cash in a shoebox.
Yeah,
because I was like, it's gonna go away, and I was so afraid of like being broke again and going back to that thing. There was nobody to bail me out.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
There's a big transition in my life, and I got this opportunity to do those LA Ink commercials with Kat Von D.
Oh yeah.
Massive. I just moved here. Now I get this job there. And I was so scared of really of all my money, hoarding it, that when I was there doing this massive job, I slept on a friend's mattress on the floor for 2 weeks because I was saving that money to put back into that money was going to go out. So every penny had to be saved.
There's something there though. It's like if you didn't have that mentality, you didn't have the fire in you. So it was almost like back in the day, and I had it too. It was like you fought 10 times harder for this job that was so unrealistic that you didn't know was going to happen or not. But it was like that fire that made you work hard and keep going. And now, not to say that there's not hard work, it's just different. It's definitely not the same. And it's hard to connect with that new generation.
Well, think about it just from a filmmaking standpoint. At one point in my career, there was only film to shoot. Okay, so who's going to go get film cameras? Who's going to go transfer film? So just in our landscape, imagine how few could really get through. Now everybody's accessible to the media at hand. See, that right there shows you at one era it was much more difficult to break through in that medium. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say this though about the two of you guys because I've watched how both of you guys work. I'm always paying attention to everything, and I'm looking and what I really appreciate about you two guys too is that there hasn't been this. You talk about it being different, but you're a complete cut up throughout the day, and there's nothing serious about Tanner from 10 o'clock in the morning when we're having coffee until the show starts, and it's just a cut up
still right now.
But the minute that show starts. And I've watched you do your thing for years, but getting to know him a couple summers ago, watching how much he cared and how serious he was about what he was doing once the curtain came up. For 2 hours, man, I'd see him running all around and I'm used to the jokey guy through the day. And I'm trying to, and he's like, he's just he is locked in and he's everywhere. And he's you can tell that he's trying each night to not, you see those guys, it's the same thing with music. The guys that have a formula, it's going to be the same fucking record over and over and over, the same sonic sounds. He's going to sing about the same damn thing over and over. And people buy it. But I watch the way you guys are always pushing yourself. All right. How do I make the Friday night show look different than the Saturday night show? And there's not this, even though y'all have reached the pinnacle pretty much of like what you do, you can tell that you're still trying to find a way to make it fresh. And that's refreshing to see.
Wow.
That's the challenge. I get that from him. If I ever jump off stage, it's because this 50-year-old man is still doing it today.
He's all over the place, that's for sure.
No, it's...
Yeah, we were laughing the first time he came out, you know, the difference in styles with, you know, him and PJ. They're both great, but it's like PJ kind of, you know, they're both flies on the wall in a sense, but Spidey is like crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Like I look over at one point and he's like,
yeah, dude.
Like,
I've done this on an episode.
And I'm in the middle of my show and I'm in my head, I'm like, what the hell is this guy trying to get right now? And I'm still trying to focus on the crowd, but I'm like, what? And then we all get in the dressing room and it's our first time hanging out with Spidey. And I think Will's like, dude, was anybody watching Spidey on stage? Man, he had some unusual positions. We were tripping out about it.
And he gets the shit.
I feed off. I mean, I can specifically remember Boston when we were in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was telling him the story. It was like right when the show starts. What is it? Lipstick, I think. Man,
it might have been Lipstick back then. Yeah,
dude, lights
That's a
were
fire
off.
Starter, yeah,
and dude, it kicks on, and I take a jump. I can't. Yeah, we can go down the stairs.
Yeah.
But no, I got to jump off the top
Yeah.
speaker because I'm feeding off of it. I mean, and it's dark and I got my landing, but then right when I jump off, the lights come on and then go off. And I slam in, I'm bruised. I'm slammed into the barricade and shit. But
this was at his show.
At him. Yeah. Oh yeah. I need it. I need it. I have to get in it. I mean, it's
feel like you're part of it.
I do. And I do feel the photos reflect that. I mean, when you're in it and I want my photos when I'm on stage or shooting I want the fans to be privy to a perspective they never would see, but really be in on it.
Yeah.
Like feel it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like photojournalism on stage.
Yeah. You want to see the sweat beating down.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just got to catch the moment. If you miss that moment, then it's like, what am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then you do such a good job in your shows because you're switching it up. You just said it.
And I feel like that's kind of the only reason I'm really honestly why people are still showing up. Because I mean, I think about it. I haven't had a hit. Shoot, man, I haven't had a hit record since 2015. I haven't had any radio play since, but it's like everything keeps getting bigger as far as especially overseas. And it's like, I have to attribute that to the fans. You know, they'll tell you this is their 75th show, this is their 100th show, this is their 30th show, and you're not gonna get the same show every night. You know, I feel like as an artist, you have to be able to read what is happening. You know, this last night, Guitar Man worked. Tonight it ain't gonna work, and if you're just stuck to that thing, you can fall and lose a whole crowd. And it's a crucial moment sometimes in those spots. Which way am I going to go? Well, I've got them on this complete frenzy right now. And I know that they're discovering me right now. They're not as astute on what the whole catalog is. There's nights when played Cincinnati recently where the fervor wasn't the same as Boston, but I could see how locked they were. And you can feel it.
Yeah.
Just mind there's despondent faces and they were so locked in and they were discovering a lot of me that night. They didn't know the catalog, but I knew I could take them there. But some nights I know I can't take them there. Right. I'm going to lose them if I do that. And it's just kind of
changing. Are you changing mid-set?
Absolutely. I'm calling audibles left and right, you know, depending on what's happening in the crowd. Yeah.
People are struggling with staying now because they've maybe played the social media game. You know, and now they're kind of realizing, wait a minute, I need to be more authentic to what I want to do. And maybe that's a U-turn for some of these artists, but for you, it's not. You have stayed so true.
Yeah.
Since we started working, and I've said it and I mean it to the core. Your music is played at my wedding and it would be played at my funeral. It's that important of a time and place. I feel it. I can't help it. It's every record puts me in a place of my life.
Yeah.
and I feel it resonated through your stuff, and you stay true to that.
Yeah.
And you haven't played the games.
I appreciate that. And it's been hard at times, I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I get crazy amounts of pressure, like, anything to be like, we need this, we need that, we need the, well, TikTok is the thing right now. Vertical's the thing. We don't want any horizontal. And I'm like, the whole crowd's doing this, dadgummit, I'm doing this. Like, I don't want to be a part of the crowd. And I believe if we shot that thing as horizontal there's so many details in that look. Damn it, that's what's getting put up. I'm not cutting out Will over here when I'm seeing sweat down his face and he's got this amazing part where he's zoned in, but the vertical just gets me. And that's what everybody's doing. That's what fans are seeming to react to. We just want iPhone. We don't want cinematic because that's what's working. Fuck that. Like, because that's gonna burn out, and then people are gonna come back to that, and you were doing that all along. And two, for me, it's just, I can't,
Oh, you could say it.
I just can't do the whole, they were like, you got to make TikToks of the songs and the hands and the up high, the down, you got to do all the thing. And
No.
It's like I couldn't, if I went back home that night and I laid my head on my pillow, I'd be like, gosh dang it, you freaking dork, you gave me in. Like, I just can't. I can't do it.
Let's dissect that a little bit. Okay, what would you rather have? I mean, one, the authenticity builds like a fan base that you have. You're able to do shows across the world.
Dude,
now, some of these young kids, they might be popular, but they ain't selling tickets.
They ain't selling out soccer stadiums in South Africa.
They're not creating the connection that music was made initially for, or, having those kind of shows that people are going to remember for the rest of their lives. There's something there, and we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, and as I even as I say what I said, I'm kind of like, shit, I wish I hadn't even just said that just then, but it's something that just annoys me so much, and so it ends up just coming out in a visceral way sometimes when I'm talking, because I think about, my heroes that I love so much, and there was a mystique to these people. There was mystery. I never want people to know about my whole life and everything that's going on. I never want to be in your face 24/7 making videos and just inundating you with the same song 5,000 times. I understand the model. Like, I get it. It makes sense to me. It is the new radio. It's what people go to. But I still believe in whole projects. I wholeheartedly believe in whole records, and I don't believe that music is supposed to be so disposable and used that way. So I have to follow my own compass on that. If I would have seen video footage of Tom Petty, she was, if I'd have seen him doing those things, I'd have never been a fan.
Yeah.
That's not a rock star thing to do.
I would have never fell for it. If I'd have seen Axl Rose doing mimes to Sweet Child of Mine in the camera, it would have never been cool. But
acting like your own fan.
The only time you saw that was in that video with those leather pants, and he's doing his thing, and he's got his shirt off, and he's just owning it. But you didn't, that was the only way you could see that piece of work, or you go to a show. He just wasn't. And this is a very intentional thing too. Like, I have never wanted to be the guy, the face of, I think it's a dangerous kind of road when you're everywhere. Could name, where all of a sudden you're on every collab there is to be done. And you're constantly the forefront of mainstream and this and that. And it's, the cool factor is completely rubbed off, and it becomes, people end up seeing through how inauthentic, and just you will do whatever to stay in that thing. That's and the minute it's not about the thing anymore, and it's everything but the thing, where I've tried to make the music the thing the whole time, and nothing else. The amount of things that I have turned down behind the curtain to stay in this place of a little bit of obscurity, and it just be about the music. I just think that's been a big part of why it's just kind of kept chugging along, you know?
There was also that element back in the day, like the people that we grew up on, Tom Petty, everybody, even leading up to 2010 or whatever, there was a sense of mystery. So you didn't show them everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it made you want to go to a show where you could finally see them, and it was like a holy shit, you know? And the only time that they did see you was a music video that was a work of art that was like profound, you know? It wasn't you doing the dishes or, you know, or whatever.
The minute it's not about the thing, man.
Yeah, like the mystery aspect.
And I remember a quiet conversation we had on the bus one time. You said something on that to this effect that you were like, when I call it quits, when this is over, there's only going to be what I intentionally put out to remember my music, my brand, whatever you want to. But I remembered that, and you can't just start now and say that. That was a thought that had to be from set one to now to keep that going.
Spidey, 2014, I walk into a building similar to this, but there's nothing in the building, but it's probably 3 times the size of this, like a warehouse. I'm at the beginning of my career. Wild Ones is just coming out. And I get offered to be in the studio with Wyclef Jean and Nick Jonas. And it's like this whole thing of like they're doing Wyclef Jean, Nick Jonas, and these people. And it's like it was big pop stars. And they want to use Wild Ones. And Wild Ones was this thing that we would open the show with, and it would just be insanity in the room. And it's got this edge to it, you know, and I remember I got pitched. It's in the studio. It's for Kellogg's, but there's never any Kellogg's. It's just at the very end of them showing you guys in the studio, you'll see sponsored by Kellogg's kind of thing. And I was like, it was
makes sense. It was cereal too. It makes a lot of sense.
A lot.
It was a massive, massive 6-figure check.
Yeah.
Now, we've already talked about the struggle and all the years and living in just dumps
the
and
shoebox.
this and that. Yeah, and having the shoebox. And I have never seen a check this size to this day being offered to me. This was the biggest check to this day of my career. I mean, we're pushing 7. And I show up and I get into the warehouse. It's all relative to what we're talking about. And all the other people have already done their stuff. So now it's my turn to do my thing. And they got the cameras all in front of me. And they're like, okay, Kip, just stand right here. And behind me is a gigantic LED screen. But I don't know it's even an LED screen at the time.
Yeah.
And there's a big wall behind me. And the room is dark. And they kick on, doom, 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 kick on Wild Ones. They were just singing to the camera. I'm like, okay. And I'm already feeling uncomfortable in my skin a little bit. I'm already like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this. And it's all going through my head in real time. The worldwide marketing guy for Universal Records is in there. Sean's in there. My management agents, everybody's in there. There's 25 people on set. It's a massive production. Flown out to LA. I think about this now and I'm like, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe nothing happened to me. I can't believe I didn't get dropped the next day. And about 15 seconds, immediately once the beat kicks on, all of a sudden there's just this glow of yellow behind me. And I can see that it's just all encompassing around me. And I'm like, what is behind me right now? And I'm thinking this. And I said, we've been waiting all week, been waiting on it. I got to been waiting on it. And I stopped and I turned around. And it was just thousands of Pop-Tart boxes behind me.
No.
And I'm having a full-blown meltdown internally.
Yeah. How are they not going to tell you that? How are they not going to give that heads up?
I don't know.
I also like how aware you are to know.
And in that moment, I'm like, can't do it. 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 Stop. I said, stop. Oh. And I can my manager knows me. We're super close. I still love him. Love him. But he knows me, and I could see him going, oh, boy, this is not going to be good right here. And I turned around, and now I'm just staring at this screen. And I'm like, what the fuck did I get into? And I said, I need a second. And I walk outside by myself. There's a guy outside the thing, and he's smoking a cigarette. I said, "You got another one of those?" He says, "Yeah, buddy." So I'm sitting there having a cigarette. About that time, all my team comes outside. They got their arms crossed. What's the problem? So, well, the problem is I ain't going back in there. Well, you got to go back in there. We've already agreed to this. I said, I ain't got to do shit. And at this time, man, I was furious. Kip, you got to go back in there right now. This is a whole, like I said, hey, let me tell y'all something. I will quit right now. I ain't going back in there and doing that hokey shit. And now it gets heated with me and somebody. We're face to face. And I said some things I still regret kind of, but I just, it got really testy there for a minute. I said, here's what's about to happen. I'm walking in there. I'm going to let everybody know I'm sorry they're here. And this is the massive misunderstanding, but I'm going to buy me a ticket home for this evening. I'll be on the next flight. And I walked inside and I said, hey guys, they're all standing around like, what's going on? I said, I'm really sorry. I don't want y'all to think that I'm just some kind of jerk. I'm not, but I didn't sign up for this. I've been a little bamboozled, and this ain't gonna happen with me. I apologize, and I walked out, and that was that. And I flew back to Nashville.
I mean, if you would
even with the struggle, with the living,
man. They took care of it. Luckily, the guy running the marketing, still, I love him. He's great, and he kind of had my back in that moment. He said, "We'll get somebody else on it," and they did. They got somebody that'll play the game fast, and somebody successful, and they got out there and they did that thing.
Yeah.
Like, what would be next after that? Be a boy band or something?
Yeah. So it was I just kind of, I remember turning down a big look at ACMs that was with a big pop star. I said, it don't make sense for me. They're great. I don't have anything against what they do. Like, music is subjective, but I'm not just going to do something to do it and make the thing about the thing. And I've always tried to stick to that. I remember, do you want to be The Bachelor? But it's like 2013 or 14. I was like, you kidding me?
Oh, before me.
We haven't even gotten this thing really. It's just now getting off the ground. That's the last thing I'm going to go do right now. But 8 million people watched it. And I said, I don't give a shit how many people watch this thing. You're crazy if you think I'm going to go do this. So you got to have a compass as an artist and know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be remembered for that. If you were to do, The Bachelor,
I would have never came out of that shadow.
You would have been the guy from The Bachelor. If you were the guy that did the Pop-Tart commercial,
did you grab a Pop-Tart on your way out, maybe?
No, I did not. I should have.
Dude, that story's so good.
I should have.
One of my favorite artist stories that I can talk about was with you, because I think it's perfect at the moment to bring up. And that was when we had breakfast, like we do, before a shoot, to talk about it. And the whole South Africa, I wouldn't say explosion, but was happening to you right when we had our breakfast. Like, it was like, you were like, dude, it was unfolding, the whole selling soccer stadiums.
What year was that?
Minutes.
2023 was my first show there.
No shit.
And he told me it was all happening in kind of maybe a day or so before our breakfast, but it was just like your excitement and your, not bewilderment, but like, okay. And what you said, if you don't mind me saying, was like, I see that and I'm going to come to you. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. Like, now I'm pretty jealous. Maybe you can find a flight for me next time. Those shows look insane. And PJ captured.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
tell PJ if he slips at all. You guys are
watch
coming,
out,
man.
PJ.
He slips off stage. Literally,
I had such FOMO of that because of the excitement and the newness of that market and the explosion of it. Mm-hmm. And I just being your friend and someone who believes in you as an artist, I that was like Team Kip was.
That was
awesome.
That was all from one guy that that fell in love with the Wild Ones record. He's running pretty much a rock and pop station. It's the biggest kind of stretching one through South Africa, and he fell in love with that record and started spinning the songs that I wanted to get spun in the States. He was spinning That Was Us. He was spinning The Bull. He was spinning Heart's Desire. Heart's Desire was the first one to just go.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember my record label at the time being like, this is a massive song. And I was like, damn right, this is a big song. Let's put it out. They were like, it just doesn't fit on country radio. And I remember that conversation and then being like, we know this is a hit record, but we just don't think that the programmers are going to spin this. And they might be right, because it's like, you take something like The Bull that doesn't get past number 55 because of me saying The Bull, and they see that as free advertisement for their competitor, or when I say flip the bull, the burr, they're like, well, he's flipping our station, so it's all this stuff. But then you see a song in the top 5 that has no cleverness to the lyric. The sonicness sound of it is just flat one note, and you end up just, your brain explodes. Like, how does a song like that get shoved down? And you see it every night at a festival, just light a place on fire. And then this number one that nobody's even reacting to. It's crazy.
It's interesting. Well, it's just a different landscape, Like, they're not, people in South Africa, they're not thinking of the way these people are thinking.
Nothing.
Europe too, right? Is Europe similar?
Yeah, Europe's gotten massive. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something there too. Talk to kids who are, not making it. It's like, well, maybe you're just selling to the wrong people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like your story, that South Africa, like, everyone knows about it. Everyone's like, how the hell? You know what I mean? But you're the only one to really do something like that.
Well, I'll get interviewed by different people in these different places around the world, and they're like, your music is more worldly. Like, it's not like in some kind of homogenized box where he's told me he's tried to play, a lot of these other things that are successful here, and it's just not working. It's like they're not buying it. It's like it's a different way of life too. Like they're not gonna maybe respond the same way that an American crowd would to, like, to the same conceptual things that are getting sung about over and over here. It's just not. They're not. It's just like, what is this?
I know you when you travel the world, and your music is about time and place. I've said that, and as you just said, worldly. What inspires each album? Is it your adventures? And when you're on your adventures and you're surfing, you're going to villages and immersing yourself in those cultures, is that where you get your inspiration?
A, B, C, and D. All the above. That is my cathartic unpacking process when I leave. And I'm writing all through the years. I mean, all through the year, I write every single morning, and I'm jotting down ideas. Sometimes I'll start a full song. I'll get halfway through it. And then I really unpack when I'm there, and I'm thinking about, because it's a nonstop, but I'm not always writing a record. It's like Solitary Tracks. Reason to Believe record didn't start until maybe 4 months after, but I was writing every day. I'd probably already written 30 songs before I started that record. But I always know when something interesting sonically is happening and when I feel like I got something to say. And while the headspace of Reason to Believe was started out very dark. The darkness is one of the first things that I wrote. And I remember being on the back of my porch, probably 1 a.m. and starting to write that chorus. And so much about the reason I ended up naming the whole thing Reason to Believe. Number one, I love that title and that song, but it was like, well, this is kind of what this record is, because I've always had a faith about me, but I've been internally struggling with just really trying to hold on to that. And I've felt a darkness for years now that's just gripping on my back and trying to get away from it, outrun it, pray about it, these things. And so that's where I was specifically at that time and place. So I'll try to really go towards that. Faith in the Wind. Josephine was another thing that that's a whole nother story, but it's like the darkness is as raw as I can get with that kind of thing. But I'm also intentionally with this record, I started that verse with this like rubber band. Like I wanted to create all this tension with the heaviness of what I'm saying in the beginning. Janie asked if I'd ever seen the light. When I'm going into that, I'm trying to keep that tension. And there is a darkness in the sound in the beginning of that, but then I wanted everything, and when those choruses hit, I wanted to open up into this euphoric, like almost like angels singing, like a thing of like, I'm free, even though I'm still singing about something really heavy. I wanted when those choruses sonically hit that it didn't feel sad. The music felt like this uplifting thing. So that was an intentional thing. And even like at the very end when it's like, ooh, like that was my way of it kind of being like a metaphoric thing of like, you know, even though you're in the darkness, the angels are kind of with you. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm unpacking and processing everything I've been feeling throughout whatever time period that's been, and I'm writing towards that.
Because I noticed it was a pretty quick turnaround from solitary tracks to a new album.
I've already got a whole nother one written.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was the darkness you were feeling? Was that what was motivating songs quickly to another album?
I mean, that was the first song for the record. And it was like that one in Long Time Coming was kind of back to back. And Long Time Coming, like a lot of times what I'll do is take Wild Things Like You. Wild Things Like You is about me, but I write it about the other way around. Like I'm chasing some woman that I can't seem to, I'm writing it really about what I think they're thinking kind of thing. So it's even like with Long Time Coming, I make it this relationship thing, but for me, it's almost like a faith thing. You know, it's been a long time coming. Like I know you're there. Like I can feel you, you know, and I keep kind of wandering off over here, but you know, I know that I want to get over here with you because I feel better when I'm over here. But I'm gonna run back over here. But I at some point I'm gonna get over there. And so, but I treat what I'm feeling, you know, and then I'll write it around something that might be a little more relationship wise. But that's a relationship to me. So I try to do that where it might be a little more tangible, but it's also a very real thing to me in the moment when I'm writing it.
Would you say your spirit is more of a wild spirit or more of a settle down, be alone? Like, you know, is there something?
Man, I feel like a feral cat. I
do. The guy that travels and hangs out in the real shit in third world countries. No, he's very conservative.
I got a friend of mine, Mark. Mark's watching. He calls me Felix because he's just like Felix the cat. He's just like, man, you are like a feral cat. It's just, I get really uncomfortable with comfortability, you know, and I'm always trying to put myself in things that kind of make me uncomfortable. I'm you know, but I love being around my friends and people I care about and those things. But I am a searcher through and through. Like I'm a wanderlust human being at heart. I feel everything big and small, and I think that's what makes me half crazy and dark because I just feel everything so big. And I carry a lot of that with me. I remember seeing this person recently in one of these different countries that I was in, and watching this person walk around every time. I'd probably see her 3 or 4 times during the day, and pushing this cart everywhere she went, probably in her mid-30s. And I'm just like, just so often I'm laying in my bed at night, and where I think a lot of times, and I'm not saying that I'm some kind of I don't know, it's not where I'm any better than anybody else, but for whatever reason things stick to me, and then I'm feeling like I gotta try to help, I gotta try to figure something out with this. But I'm also just wrestling with how did she get there? At some point she was somebody's little girl, and then it got to this. And so I've already written almost a whole nother record around that character, where it's like, where at least the backbone of the record is that. So with the travels, it's like, I see these things, I carry them with me, and then, just try to unpack them, I guess.
There's perspective. I mean,
there's a lot of Eddie Vedder in there, because, like when he wrote the 10, he wrote it on the beach of Torrey Pines Beach, where I
didn't
surfed.
know that.
Didn't
know that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his lyrics are out in the lineup. He'll come up with lines.
I do that a lot for sure.
Yeah, I feel the same thing you say, to one of my, personal childhood idols.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good advice for just people in general, or even artists. It's basically like find the balance, and this town is great, and we're all friends, and we have a good time. But it's like, man, you got to get out of here, and you got to see like real life.
Yes,
and you do such a good job about doing that.
I would struggle if I just I can write. You give me a title called The Hat. I can write The Hat.
Zach, get a notebook.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, and I can make it make sense, and I can be like it being all about the comfortability of life, and I can make it all be right around the hook, and I can make it sound catchy and this and that. I can write that, but I could stay in town and just go into writers' offices and write, and I could do the thing. But I just, I mean, I travel for my own self, but I also travel to be inspired and to like come back with something to say.
That's awesome.
I really feel that. Reason to Believe. Is there a personal song that you feel is your kind of is it The Darkness? Because it was the first kind
I think The Darkness is like the backbone of the whole record. I do. And I feel like that is unveiling. That's as raw as I can get. There's not some positive spin that you do as a songwriter at the end of it to make it know. I mean, it's a daily battle. I wrote it from that standpoint.
The record still has timeless songs. Like it's not. This whole record isn't just down in the deeps and being. It's like it's like you say, it evolves into the good stuff too. And so we listened to it all.
Heartbreak was
Heartbreaker.
Jam. Let's go. That'd be fun live.
Heartbreak.
That was gonna be fun.
I like where you on. I think Headlights. I like where you hit those kit.
I love
Headlights.
That's definitely one of my favorites. Headlights kind of, I mean, that's one of those that was the very end of the record when we wrote it, and Brett had passed during the middle of that. And the song was kind of going one way, and I still stuck to it. I kind of made it a little vague where you could draw your own conclusions from it for yourself, but it's a little more relationship driven, but kind of went back and massaged some lines and stuff, because that's smoking my last cigarette, watching daylight die, and every time the night comes on, your memory comes alive. That was a post, and it's like, just Brett is who I think about the whole time now. If I'm listening or we've been working that up as a band, and it's I know I'm never gonna pull up in your driveway again, and you're gonna be there.
That's heavy.
That is heavy. Yeah, Jesus.
But that's cool that you can do that with a song. You just said it like you think it's about something, but really deep down it's like, no, it takes on a
different form. Yeah. But I still tried to do the thing with Headlights that I did with this record, where the heavy conceptual matter still, I bring it into this place where it feels like this releasing, this purging of like where you want to shout it, where it's not just some Born in the USA. It's about as dark of a lyric as you can get, and people saying that for years, just shouting it, thinking that it was some kind of like patriotic ode, and it was all about people coming back from war and just the whole country turning their back on them, and it's a heavy lyric.
Very.
But man, does he open up in that chorus, and he just playing that whole trick on your mind where you can still play these things live to where it's going to get a place moving, But
another song is Outkast, Roses.
Yeah.
And people dance to that song, but like if you really read the lyrics, it's like, man, that's kind of a fucked up song, man. Right? So it's cool that you could do that.
Yes.
Man, thank you so much for being with us on our pod. We had David Nassie on season 1, which was a blast, and it did amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
The great stories. I was on when we were on tour.
He's got some wild stories.
Does he not, Bo?
I'll tell you this. This is the great one about Dave Nassie right quick. So Dave played in, some pretty big punk bands back in the day. And Dave Lapsey, my old guitar player, who's still one of my dear friends, he left the band and moved to Minnesota. So I'd heard about Dave Nassie. Dave Nassie drives out from California and joins the band. I immediately fell in love just with him as a human. And so we've probably been playing shows together for, 7-8 months at this point, 6, 7, 8 months. And as a kid, I was obsessed with watching Headbangers Ball on MTV, and like they would show like Warped Tour and all. And Warped Tour was just like, what is this? You know, as a kid seeing all this stuff, and then Dave, you know, I knew was a part of all those Warped Tours.
Big time.
So for the first 6 months, so it was like every night we get to, you know, ride on the bus, be like, all right, tell me another Warped Tour story, and it was just I was obsessed with it.
Yep.
One night we're about to walk out on stage. We're like literally behind the curtain. The O2 is sold out. We're direct support on that big C2C festival. And we're about to walk on stage, and I'm asking about Warped Tour. And he just stops me. He says, hey, man, this is by far the coolest thing I've ever done. Let's just drop the Warped Tour stuff. And we laughed. Man, we laughed. I've never asked him about Warped Tour since. He goes, you actually have chicks in the audience. And that was the best.
I love it. I love that. We love you. We love your band.
Thank you, we love you, man.
And thank you for taking some time out to be a part of what we're doing, man.
This was awesome.
Thank you.
In the trenches.